I got on the wrong phone. What's up, Connor? How's it going, guys? Randy. Randy, you mixed me up. I started on the wrong phone, so hopefully this phone doesn't overheat. There's my co-host. Hi, Sandra. Oh, Sandra's verified too. I didn't realize that. Here, Randy, I'm going to put you up to speaker so you can put it in the nest for that link too. Oh, I can't. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, that's fine. All right, yeah, send me the link and I'll post it to the nest then. What's going on, everybody? All right, Sandra, I'm going to give you an option to speak, and then I'll teach you how to use this real quick since we're going to be talking text selections. You probably want to talk some. Hey, CDO. How's it going, everybody? Trying to get a few things going. I started a little early so we can get something up and running. So we'll start going over if you start talking about stuff in a minute. Yeah, so you just gonna be quiet?
No, I'll talk when I need to. You got it covered right now.
What's up, Julia?
Hey, Aaron, how are you doing? Excited?
Oh, 24 hours and counting.
That's crazy. How are you feeling?
It's like looking at Twitter right now. Like, I mean, Twitter's just one thing of the whole election, right? But I mean, since everybody started tweeting it out, like this, 45 minutes ago, I posted this, and I have like 4,000 plus views. It was like 33,000 views in like 25 minutes. I mean, that's just crazy. Like the engagement was high, like everything. So, I mean, my Twitter activity today with crypto posting out and everybody, like people I didn't even know. Yeah, 4,300 impressions, 244 engagement on something I posted 40 minutes ago, which considering I have 4,000, not even 4,000 followers yet, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty
it's
big. Wow.
Put
it in the
Twitter,
nest.
Huh?
Add it to the nest in the space here.
I don't
So people
know
know
if
which. Okay, I can do it. Let me check.
Oh, what are you talking about? Add what to the nest?
Your post.
Oh, I can do that. Yeah, I need to share it back out again anyway.
Hey, Aaron. This is Chip from Florida. I'm rooting for you, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I think I've talked to you before in some other spaces, so I recognize your name.
Yes, we did. And I'm with you 100%, man. We need more people like you. This is the only thing I can say.
Well, I appreciate that. That's
I just hope people can see that.
Well, the question is, did I get it to enough people in time? That's really the question. I mean, it's a big state, and they try to shut you down. Oh dear God!
You'll
Who let
get it.
crypto
Don't
in
worry
here?
about it.
All right, Aaron. So I'm in on my phone too. So I'm
Okay.
here. I got it up and running, and we're good to go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you want to share it up there for anybody who wants to click on it and check it out later.
Well, you got it up there already, so it's there.
You weren't supposed to tell crypto about this, I thought.
I threw it in the bullpen. I told him my arm felt good tonight. I thought I could go for a complete game, and and
it happened.
And what's his name? I didn't have to play mid relief this, because it's not crypto space. So, and then what's his? Mark said he might come play pinch hitter tonight. What's up, crypto?
Hey, hold on. Listen, Aaron.
Hold on.
Aaron, listen, buddy. You're getting the crypto fucking bump tomorrow, buddy. All right. So I don't want to hear any of this. Who let crypto in the space? You're getting the crypto bump, brother, all the way to the W. All right.
That works. That works. That works. That's why I'm going for a full game. I'm getting bumped tomorrow, so I'm going for a full game. Tonight, you got to get it in.
A full game tonight, and I will just avoid all of my attorney court duties tomorrow and just tweet all day.
Hey, I like that idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that works. That works. I appreciate it. Yeah. So.
So just
Sandra.
So just remember, Aaron. Don't forget the Crypto Julia Mark Yesy bump. All right.
Hey, I mean, it works. It does work. I think I got like almost 100 followers last night from that space. So that was pretty good. So, God, I hate these new emojis. Ugh. Can I get a face palm emoji, like an angry emoji? I'm tired of all the nice emojis. Like sometimes, like, we talked about January 6th last night. I wanted to just be like, with an emoji when someone was talking, and it's like, oh, let me give you the peace symbol. Hey, okay.
And a down vote too, like a thumbs down or like a crying face. There was nothing negative. It has to be happy and flowery and left to
Yeah,
say.
they should put something else here. You have like a pink heart, laughing, crying, and claps and peace and waving and nothing else.
No, I got a freaking heart instead of 100 now. Like it's terrible. So anyway,
An eye roll would be good for me personally.
Let me try to get Sandra up here again if she's available to yet. Let some people meet Sandra. She's running for Congress down in the. Oh, there she is.
Well, hey y'all.
All right, Sandra. Oh God, here's hey y'all. It's her.
The hey y'all is real
Okay,
down here in South Texas.
So Texas of you. Hey y'all.
Yeah, my first video was hey y'all, and it's not my thing. My kid makes fun of me now for it. He's like, "What's the next good video going to be?" Howdy, partners. My name's Aaron Sorrells. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor of Texas. I'm like, child, you may have been the one that got me into this, but I can still. Never mind. We're recorded. I'll keep that quiet. People might take that out of context. So, yeah, like I said, it's this kind of impromptu. Figured I need to talk about some whatever anybody wants to talk about. Anything's going on. Obviously, we've got. I put the post out today that people have been sharing pretty good. I don't know. It's been a long run. It's kind of been an enlightenment. It's been very like I've always been Christian. I've always, I've gone to church religiously, watched kids for the last 12 years. I've been religiously going to my church for 15. I didn't go a lot as a kid. Went off and on. But this last 7 months has been a bit of a, like I said, it's been a very interesting trip. It was kind of an emotional post today when I made that. I was getting ready and I was like, you know what? I think I need to get this off my chest because, it's been like, you get people that come up and say, I've been waiting for someone like you to come along my whole life. I've had people coming up and saying, oh my God, they start praying for me. And they're like, oh my God, the angels around you. And, I've got like all of y'all tweeting out today saying you're voting for me, and Crypto, appreciate everything you've done. Yesy, Julia, everything y'all have done. Bringing me on your space and allowing me to have the voice I've had there. It's a bit of a surreal thing. I was an unknown 7 months ago. I'm a business owner that was just living my life, and now I've got people just praying that I win because that I've given them the hope that I am different, that I will do the things that I've promised I will do, and I can promise anybody listening right now, especially since this was recorded, I am what I say I am. There's a reason I run a business. I didn't do well in corporations because I didn't let people get away with it there, and it cost me jobs. It cost me lots of things, and we've got to go back to our principles and morals. And so, trying to, I've been attacked. I've had one of my opponents, say I bullied one of his chief of staff and made up pure baseless accusations that they knew were baseless. And at all points, I have refused to attack. I've refused to do anything because you can't fix this problem in this world by becoming part of that evil. And so I've done my best to, stay above the fray and lead by example and show love to people. And, as much as I love to be combative and confrontational, I've gotten to the point now where it's like, you know what? It's really made me rethink even my combativeness. I'm trying, like a guy came at me earlier, just flat out lied and said something on Gab and Getter. And I was just like, you know what? Have a good day, man. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go down into your anger level. I'm not going to play that game with you. You vote for your guy and it is what it is. Pay the best man win. And it's been weird. Like, because I've always liked confrontation, and I still plan on being very confrontational, but I can't always be that way. Like, I can't combat every little fight and then also have all the energy to fight the system, which is what I'm effectively going up to do. So, like I said, it's been an emotional roller coaster. It's been a good emotional roller coaster. It's changed my relationship with my wife, with my kids. For a while that was stressful. Now it's been a lot better. I've met a lot of amazing people along this way. A lot of them are in this room right now, and they've done leaps and bounds for me for free, for volunteering, for everything. And you just it's crazy. Like I don't. I'm speechless to a lot of it. I don't. I don't think anything I do is that special, but it's not the way it's coming across. Evidently, I feel like I'm just standing up and speaking my mind, which I am, and it's just I guess not enough people have done it, especially that run for office, and it's like I'm getting it's kind of a gravitational pull to me at this point, and and like I said, this isn't about winning lieutenant governor. This is about a movement, and everybody in this room is part of that movement. Everybody that's on Twitter that's posting is part of that movement. Everybody that's part of this trucking movement, the Freedom Convoy, the Canada, it's all a movement of people being pissed off. And I just hope it carries over to the polls, and I hope we do something, because I don't think none of us have ever seen this in our lifetimes, and I don't think any of us probably seen this since Civil War in this country. I don't even think the World Wars were, while they were bad for Americans, they weren't this type of bad. So I think it's
Hey,
it's time for
Aaron,
people to stand up.
Aaron, if you see a bunch of hearts
Yes,
on this space,
yes.
actually it's a hundreds and thumbs up for
Okay.
you.
Okay, good deal. That's kind of how I treat the heart too. It's either that or the clapping one. So,
Well, they
um,
took away the 100% thing, so I mean, like, what's left, really?
yeah, I don't understand any of that. Why they're getting rid of that. Michelle, what you got?
I just want to tell you, Aaron, it's been amazing listening to you over these past several months, and really praying and hoping that you win. And I'm curious, are you going to do a space on Wednesday?
Yes.
Yes, 100% yes, you will.
Yeah. Good or bad? Because I don't. Even if I'm not to win, I. Oh, by the way, I forgot to have Yessie. Yessie, handle putting people up. I forgot I actually have a co-host. I'm doing it because I used to do this by myself when I host.
I'm good. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're good. Win or lose, it doesn't matter to me. Win is just means the movement grows faster. Lose just means I have a different fight. So yeah, sure. Wait, hold on, Crypto. When are you doing yours? What's the season schedule? Do we have one yet? Damn it, Crypto, you can't be AFK on me right now. This isn't bull. And there he goes. Look at this. This is what happens. Look, I go for a full game, and the management team's leaving me hanging. This is what happens when you take your starting pitcher's job. Martin, do we have an answer to that? You want to message me? Well, depending on what Crypto and Mark's schedule is, we will decide. Since I got to be in the bullpen for them. I gotta play relief. So, but anyway, I appreciate it, Michelle. But we'll figure it out one way or the other. What you got, Sandra?
No, I was agreeing with everything you were saying. When I first ran in 2020, I had this older woman come up to me, and she put her arms around me, and she just started crying because we'd never had a Republican run from Laredo for this seat, for this congressional seat before. And they felt like the Republicans had all but forgotten them. And I'll be honest, Aaron has got such a huge following down here in South Texas because he's invested his time around the state. He has not just been, sitting behind a computer screen or expecting everybody else to do his work. He's actually putting in the miles. He's come down here for the big things. He's come down here for the little things. And those are the things that the voters remember. And knowing, just in the few months that I've known Aaron and seeing his response with the community, whether it's been here in Laredo, whether it's been San Antonio, or anything in between, it speaks volumes. And I think that this race is going to, this election cycle, let me rephrase that, is opening up so many eyes. I just heard from some of our chairmen down here in District 28. For example, here in Webb County, in a non-presidential year, our numbers are up 81% from the last 2018 primary election cycle. Zapata County has doubled the Republican Party turnout, even from the the primary of the general of 2020. Duval County is up over 50% also from primary elections. So the movement is so strong and so real, and it's because of the true work of the grassroots.
That is awesome. Wow. Yeah. I mean, and some of the responses I'm still getting from people down there has been that's been crazy too. Like I said, that the couple days I was down there, and that's why I came. Of course, like I told you, that's why I came back down, even though it was a small event for that prayer in Laredo, because I didn't care. It was a respect thing. And we've got to show respect to the people that show respect back, and that's what we've lost in our elected officials is the inability to understand and relate to the people. They become part of that system for so long, or they went to college to be a political science major, and all they know is that world, and they don't understand what the rest of the world is like. And when you lose that connection between the community and the people you represent, then you lose everything that matters. And that's, back to what I made my post about, right? We have lost community in this country when they shut down our churches and they shut down our businesses and they did all the things they did. They destroyed community. They destroyed humanity the way they wouldn't let people go to the hospital and see their loved and sick ones. Right? That is inexcusable. That's not what you do. That's not what humans do to each other. And because of it, we are at odds with everything now, and it's just not acceptable. And we've got to get that fixed if we're ever going to solve this problem. We can't solve the evil in this world by continuing to allow the evil to just exist and just say, well, we'll just, I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want to do this. No. We're going to have to start being what they consider the bad guy. That doesn't mean we're the bad guys. You can do things the right way with your morals and everything else and still be and still accomplish the mission. You don't have to be like the left and say the end justifies the means and sacrifice everything you believe in just so you can win. Because if you win that way, you don't win. You're going to answer for that when you die. That's it's just not acceptable. So that's what I've been trying to push through this. So, Sandra, I want to give you a minute to speak to. I want to let you introduce yourself to everybody in here at some point too, since you are in Texas.
Can I do a housekeeping thing first, really, really quickly? Because I think I can't add anybody else to speak.
Whatever you want to do, co-host. Whatever.
Yeah, really quick. Just raise your hand if you want to talk, because we're gonna have to, I guess, rotate people out. I don't know. I guess I can't add any more speakers. And I know somebody wants to speak, so just, I guess, raise your hand and we'll go from there whenever it's time for people to speak.
Hey, Aaron, add me as a co-host, and you can add one more speaker.
Oh, that's true. Yep, I got you. Okay. Yeah, if anybody's not going to talk, we can move back down and go back around that way. So, all right, Randy, your co-host. That'll free up. Okay, let's go. Stetson.
I will just step down for some other people to just come in and ask you questions.
Okay.
Ben, I love you. I hope you win. Go Texas.
Thanks, Master. Appreciate it. What you got, Brandon?
Well, from our time together during this campaign that we're pretty brutal on candidates. We don't mix lines with lukewarm candidates or anything like that. We go for the people that have fire in their hearts and love Texas and will fight for them. And whenever you came along, it was such a breath fresh air, basically, for This Is Texas Freedom Force, because we absolutely love Dan Patrick and the other candidates that were in the race. We don't care for at all because they're not going to pay attention to what's important to us. And so thank you for everything that you have done thus far in running. And I hope that you just knock it out of the ballpark tomorrow. And I'd love to see you up there in the lieutenant governor's seat, run into you in the Capitol a few times. And if you don't, you've always got a home with our Dallas chapter up at TITFF up in DFW area. They've already said that they'd welcome you with open arms and continue working with you. And then, move on from there. If you need to run again, you can. So thanks. And for all the traveling you do too, man. I know it's rough because we do it all the time. And not as much as you've done in the amount of time that you've had, but it's taxing on the body, it's taxing on the mind, but yet you've kept a clear, present, a message out there. And even with some of the distractions that came up, we watched you be laser pointed at your message, and and it was receptive by Texans across the state.
Well, I appreciate it, Brandon. Yeah, and I appreciate everything you guys have done too. So yeah, we both know where each other stand on that. So, and yeah, I'm definitely not done either way. And obviously, we will be having plenty of contact one way or the other from this moment on. So, and for anyone who doesn't know, Brandon Stetson, he runs Texas. This is Texas Freedom Force. They're the guys that helped protect our monuments, still help protect our monuments when the sheriffs were out of line and pulling up an MRAP at a bar where Governor Abbott was trying to use his illegal mandates to keep businesses shut down. They actually went down there and stood in unison with the bar owner and the people, and helped protect that bar from the outside. Obviously, they didn't break any laws, but they were also there at the Alamo when the Antifa and Black Lives Matter tried to, basically desecrate one of the greatest monuments in the world at this point, especially for Texan. It is the greatest monument, and they stood up when they tried to move the cenotaph, which is the burial grounds. I mean, they protected Sam Houston monuments. Right now, what are y'all fighting with the? Where are you fighting right now, Brandon? What was that one?
Well, our big thing, we've got one in Georgetown where the 200 bricks were removed, and a monument that they're going after there. But any of you that are on this thread, if you guys will go to your precinct chair meeting tomorrow, we could surely appreciate it if you will request that monument protection be put on the resolution so we can get it a priority for the 88th legislative session.
Yeah, definitely. We got to get that handled. So, all right, Brandon, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. So,
thank you, brother.
We'll talk plenty. I think let's go, Mark. What you got, Mark?
Real quick, Aaron, before we go, I got somebody that actually posted a question from YouTube watching. Andrew T asked, what is your stance on CRT?
My stance on CRT. You cannot ban CRT. You have to completely remove social skill sets from the school system. We've already banned CRT, which is what Dan Patrick gets away with. But then they renamed it under social emotional learning. And if you ban social emotional learning, and they're going to rename it to something else, and the left will never give up the war. They'll lose a battle and keep coming back. So we've got to get rid of social skills completely out of schools. Math teachers didn't go to school for for psychiatry. English teachers, same, science, you name it, history. We need to go back to spending the money on actual teaching, educating our population, focusing on trade skills, those types of things, and get away from this whole well-roundedness, good little Marxist soldiers that sit down and shut up and don't critically think. So I'm not going for banning programs. I'm going for removing it completely, along with the TEA, the NEA, the Department of Education. Gone if I get my way. We need to go back to actually giving a crap about our children, not indoctrinating them. So there's the answer.
All right, Mark, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, quite all right. That just popping in here, it's supporting Aaron where I can. I'm a journalist, so do my best to actually maintain some fair and independence there. But Aaron, I want to talk. You've been fantastic. I think the fact that you're talking about it being a movement, not so much about me, but more about the movement. It's very effective. I take you completely credible. You've always been in our space. That's how I got to meet you. You've been a gentleman, and just real impressive work. And I think that the leadership you demonstrate, which falls back on that movement, that Constitution. I also think you're really strong with being pro-state, right? I think we really need to fall back on states and states' rights, and you certainly destroy that whenever you talk about it. So. Just hats off to you. I think that your attitude on, whatever tomorrow happens, whatever tomorrow brings, I think your attitude is incredible. Is that, the fight continues. It's just, where are you going to be in that process? So I think that's really good leadership. So that's as much as I can say, but best of luck to you. I really hope you succeed in either this or whatever venture. So good luck, Aaron.
I appreciate it very much, Mark. And I'm about to slap the crap out of Crypto because he's down there spamming laugh buttons and all his emojis. And the crap that if he was up here, he'd be banning somebody for. So
Right,
cut it
right.
out, Crypto.
Oh, and as far as the season goes, the unofficial schedule we're looking at is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. But all the teams still have to work it out. But if you guys do, like you see Crypto down there hitting all the laugh things, hit his face, and there's a newsletter there. And Aaron has already pledged that no matter what his next role is, government or non-government, he's still going to be in our space. So if you like Aaron, you might like what he does there too.
I appreciate it, Mark. Thanks for letting me know. All right, so that's official. Then we will host on Wednesday, regardless, win or lose. So, and I'm banning Crypto from that space just for him spamming emojis. So, can't take this guy anymore.
You guys can bump me, but I may pop in and out. But good luck to you, Aaron.
All right, thanks, Mark. All right, let's see. Let's go. I think Lexi, or let's go with Lexi. I don't talk to Lexi as much. I talk to Carol and Michael more, so we'll go with Lexi since I'm not sure. What you got, Lexi?
Hi, thanks. So I'm just gonna say my ballot for Tuesday is just brutally long. Like it's totally a beatdown. So first question, you're in favor of abolishing property taxes, is that right?
Yes, that is one of my main things to get done.
Okay. So then two questions that I'll just kind of like bow out and let you answer is so obviously I hate property taxes. I'm about to like outright own my own home. I don't want to pay taxes, particularly on something that I literally just own. Like I'm not paying anybody for it anymore. So I like the idea, but I guess I wonder how that works practically with, like that's how we are paying for our schools, which I acknowledge we shouldn't be spending, what is it, $10,000 plus or something per student. I could send my kid to private school for that. So I'd rather just have my money and not pay my property taxes as much. But anyway, so what like if you abolish property taxes, kind of like then what? And also one of my biggest complaints with the current administration is the special sessions. I think a legislature meeting for a very short period of time, every couple years is a feature and not a bug. So when you have to keep calling special sessions, it starts to make me feel like, DC's come to Texas. So how, would you commit to not having, I think, what do we have this time? 4 special sessions? Like that's nuts.
We had a regular and 3 special sessions.
Yeah, right. So, that's just crazy to me. Like that's not what's supposed to be happening in our state. So kind of what's your commitment there, or how do you think you prevent having to do that?
Well, let's handle that one first because that's the easy one. So it's actually not up to me. That would be up to the governor. So the governor can call those if he wants to, and we're stuck with them. But the only reason you call special sessions is because you don't get your job done in the first place. So we shouldn't be having special sessions because we should have done our freaking job. You realize that none of our priorities got done until the first special session? Like people forget that in a regular session, we didn't get any of the people's priorities done. So when they're like, oh, we passed the most conservative legislature session ever. No. You got 0 done until special session 1. And then special session 3, we were so worried that we had to have a leash law for dogs. Like that was a priority with all the issues with vaccines and everything else. Well, let's get a leash law. As much as I love my dogs, come on, people. Like there's a priority here, and that was not it at that point. So, my goal is to get the priorities of the people done, which is the 8 to 10 that are handed to the lieutenant governor every time. So that is my priority. And I'm not playing around with those. I've said it over and over again that I will get those done in regular session. You're right. The best thing for Americans, Texans, citizens of our country is to have the government do as little as possible, because the more they meddle, the more it costs us. So when they start doing all these special sessions and stuff, all it does is just more and more laws. I think, what was it, last August, there were 666 new laws on us. Awkward number, by the way, if anybody's paying attention. But yeah, we don't need 666 new laws. We got enough laws on us. So my job is not to make a bunch of laws. My job is to get your priorities passed and start removing all the crap that's on our life, so that we actually feel like a free society again. So following that into property taxes, the eliminate property tax plan that I'm backing. So eliminatepropertytax.com. It's real simple. I'll try to put it in the nest in a minute. When Sandra's speaking, I'll throw it up there. That plan literally covers 95% of the current issues. There's 5% that we have to deal with, maybe some small redistribution from a city up to county, and a couple little small issues. But I'll take a 5% problem solving to get our homes back. But all the money that we're dealing with is still there. So 7 to 7.5 goes to Austin. 3% stays at the local county levels for school districts, for roads, for all of that. It actually protects it through a consumption tax that sales tax won't do. Because there's a lot of cities and counties that have zero sales tax or very little sales tax. They don't do retail in sales tax. And that is the problem with sales tax. You need a consumption tax that starts at the manufacturing level and works your way up. Because if you don't, you can't cover a lot of cities and counties. And so before everybody freaks out about that, it is a value added tax. But it is a true VAT, not what people want to scare you with. You only tax money that's been added in value. So if I sell an item for $1,000, but in the first $800 I've already paid taxes and I only marked it up $200, you're not repaying taxes on the first $800. You're only paying on the $200 I add. Therefore, it's not tax upon tax. And in case you're not aware, right now we have 60 tax plus taxes in the state of Texas, and it's already tax upon tax upon tax upon tax. It's out of control as is. So I don't want to hear the excuses about tax on tax. You don't even understand the current system if you believe that. But this plan removes almost every other tax in the state: sales tax, franchise tax, hotel taxes, you name it. It's gone. We deal with basically one tax that's going to run anywhere from 10 to 10.5%, depending on the city and county you live in. Which is that would be amazing if I could just walk in and know that every item I bought had a 10% total tax on it. That was it. God, that would make it so much easier as a consumer, as a business owner, as everybody, knowing that that's all we're stuck with.
Aaron, and something in this country that we do wrong is we have the price on the shelf without tax. I think, and this is something that they do different in Europe, the price on the shelf includes tax. I think that's something that needs to happen here, and I think that would be an important change.
We can look into that too. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it's like, I still love that retail, we still go $499. It's $500. Oh, but it had a 4 there. So people come on. It's amazing that mind trick still works on people, but I saw a 4. Yeah, it's $4.99, people, and 99 cents on top of that. So, but yeah, there's a few things, but this plan works. It's the only plan that anybody's ever dove all the way down into the smallest taxing districts. Nobody else has ever done that. Even the Texas Public Policy Foundation plan that one of my opponents runs, and it's kind of what Don Huffines is backing, with a slight variation to it. That plan has never gone. They've never done the full deep dive. This plan did, and when they did the dive, it compensated for it actually created $2 billion more in taxes than the current system has created. So it does fund everything. And the ultimate goal at that point is also to reduce government, right? I don't want to be paying 10%. I'd rather pay 9 or 8 and things like that. That's part of going back to zero-based budgeting. So these departments don't just get to say, well, I spent $2 billion last year, so I get $2 billion plus the new increase. No, you need to re-justify why you got $2 billion. And let's figure out if maybe you don't need $2 billion next year. And you're not going to get to spend all of it at the very end of the day, so that at the end of the fiscal year, so that you can justify getting all that money again for the baseline budgeting. So there's a lot of issues we need to fix, but the first thing starts with giving me and all you your property back, so that you actually are a free society, and so am I. So, do you have a follow-up, Lacey?
Yes, I do. So, has there been, I like the idea, that we operate, as individual states. We can try things out, and you can see what works here and what doesn't work there. Has anybody tried this particular plan that you're proposing, like another state or
Not this specific plan, no. This plan has been done by a guy who's been working on it for 10 plus years. He was on Deborah Medina's campaign when she ran for governor back in 08, I think it was. And she didn't want to go as far as he did, so he kept doing it. And that's literally outside of his job, he has spent the last, I think, 12 plus years now just literally diving into this plan all the way down. It's crazy the amount of research he's put behind it. So I looked at it. I looked at other plans I had wanted to go with, and I sat down with them and talked to them, and this plan works. So that's the one I'm pushing for. And you know what? We can always replace money. And the reality is, we've got to, I don't care what the plan ultimately ends up being. I will no longer accept not giving people their property. That has to stop. And that's either way. That's got to go. So anyway,
Well, thank you. And again, I've thanked you before for engaging. I do appreciate that you come out here and, let us do this.
no,
Put you on the spot.
you're right. You know what? That's the way it should be. So you're welcome. And I appreciate you coming in here. So thanks, Lexi. All right, let's do a couple more people, and then I want to give Sandra a minute to actually kind of talk about it. Because if I invite her in here, I want y'all to know who she is too. So let's go. Michael, you want to go first, or Carol? Who am I sending?
I'll make it quick, Aaron. So first of all, I want to do some house cleaning, Aaron. If I'm wrong, keep it quiet tonight. Crypto, Julia, you guys are welcome for Aaron. I think I introduced them to your space, or at least I hope I did. Just for you, Aaron, listen, bud. I mean, I don't want to sound cheesy. I consider you a friend, man. I'm a veteran. I live in Los Angeles, so I don't have a dog in this fight, but I've told you many times, I'm somewhat cynical to government. I think a lot of people are, but I will say, dude, that, I admire you so much. I respect you for everything that you're trying to do, but mainly because of the person you are. And I also just want to say that, we're all rooting for you. I know you know that, but even if, this doesn't go the right way, I even just tweeted, I think that you're the future of, constitutional conservatives. You're the future of this, at least Texas conservative movement. And we just kind of got you going here. So I'm hoping that no matter what happens, down the line here, we're calling you something in Texas. And it has to be that way. I'm actually going to give you crap if it doesn't go that way. But sincerely, bud, I just wanted to wish you well. I know you're probably going through a lot tonight, a lot of anxiety, I would expect. But, you have faith in God and you have your family. And just know that there are people, not just even in Texas, that greatly appreciate your voice, and we admire you, bud.
I appreciate it, Michael. Thanks, man. And I think you were the one that introduced me to crypto. So yes, you are right. I believe that was how I got in there the first time. So yeah. Oh, what happened to Yessie? Oh, we lost Yessie. Hold on. Bring Yessie back up. I need my co-host back. All right. Let's do this. I'm going to run. Sandra, are you on any time constraints?
Not super. I do have to do a Facebook Live eventually, but go ahead. I'm good right now.
Okay, I was gonna say, let me run to 9:30, and then I'll give you like 15 minutes to the 10-15 minute stuff. Yeah. All right. So, Carol, what you got for me?
Yeah, I'm honing my 2-minute and 20-second spiel. So I won't be long. I know I was just popping in, Aaron, just to wish you luck and to let you know that, definitely praying for you. Definitely been going in. I have the unique opportunity of going into people's homes and talking with boomers and their kids on a daily basis, multiple times a day. And I've been just, every time I walk in, it's like, hey, have you heard of this guy? And I write your name down. I'm like, well, tell your friends and call your kids, and we need to get this guy elected. I've listened to you from when you first were introduced into spaces, and where you caught me was your stance on, opposition to this tyranny under the guise of public health. And what I could tell, you got it. I didn't have to explain anything to you or clarify any points for you. It's like you got it. And that's where you had me and you had my support. So yeah, definitely. I'll be watching to see how this all shakes out, but I have a very strong feeling that it's going to shake out in your favor. It definitely needs to, because it's like Michael said, you represent the future of the conservative party, and that's how it needs to be, real, raw, and unfiltered. We've got to get the job done, and I think you're the man to do it here in Texas.
Thank you, Carol. Yeah, we've talked about that, so I do appreciate all the work you've been doing to help me out. Like I said, you're one of the people that has definitely done a lot to help me along this path. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just still kind of crazy hearing all y'all say what y'all say about me. And by the way, I wouldn't say there's not anxiety. I would say it's more just, well, it's not anxiety. I'm anxious. I will say that it's point is like now, just like, I don't know, win or lose tomorrow night. I don't even know if I'll be able to sleep all night long. Like if somehow if somehow I was to win straight out and not even get a runoff, I don't. You might see me pass out on the ground and people waking me up, because that I would literally be one of the biggest upsets in the history of politics if I did that. So, but yes, like I said, appreciate all the comments. Y'all know it means a lot to me, and I promise to everybody I will hold to what I say. I always said I didn't ever understand why God made me the way I was. For the longest time, why I had issues with some of my friendships and why I had issues with certain things I do. Well, maybe this is why, because I've always been willing to put my neck on the line, regardless if anybody liked it or not. And needless to say, I'm going to need a whole lot of security. I'm going to need a whole lot of backing. And that's why I say it's a movement, because it won't matter if I go up there and be the way I want to be. If I don't have the people behind me, they'll take care of me. But if I have the people behind me, this movement is that much stronger. We have to continue what we kind of create, the movement that we created that ultimately got Trump elected. It has to continue, and that's through the trucking convoys and everything else. We have to push this message, and we have to finish this movement. We cannot be demoralized. We can't let things like January 6th get us down. Another big thing that I'll be fighting for is to get our, hell, even if I win this before I'm even in, I'll start going to hell on that. I'm tired of Texans being treated like prisoners of war for just going up there and peacefully protest. And I don't care whatever small crime they did, it doesn't justify what's happening. And now we've had one of them commit suicide. It's disgusting. This is not how we treat Americans. And so we've got to start being bold. Like you said, we've got to be loud. No more sitting back and being the silent majority. It's time to be the loud majority. So, and that's, if I got to be partial leader of that, fine. We all have a role. Doesn't make me more important than y'all. And I mean that truthfully. I don't even want to be called lieutenant governor if I win. I'm going to tell people to call me Aaron. I'm not better than anybody. We are all children of God. We just have a different role to play, and everybody's a part in that role. So, and that's how I've always looked at life, and that's how I'll continue to look at life, even if I do win. So, I try to keep myself humble. And my wife says, I was supposed to compliment her. We went on a date night the other night, and my wife said, I was supposed to, men want to be recognized for what they do for their wives. And then they said, men, we need to recognize women and tell them what we think of them and, how special they are. And, they're beautiful and all that. So I came home and I told my wife, I was like, I appreciate that you're always a smart ass to me. And she's like, someone's got to keep your ass humble. And I was like, oh, thanks, wife. Anyway, so this is what I deal with on a daily basis. So I've always got, don't worry, you'll have my wife to keep me in check if I ever try to get a big head. But anyway, let's see. I think Cynthia, or was it Odd? Who was next? Yes, are you keeping track at all?
No, I should be though. I think fuck, I'm sorry. I got sidetracked listening to what you were saying. I think
well, let's go with
and then
let's
Michael,
go with,
and then
I know Michael came after a couple of them, so let's just go with Cynthia, and then we'll go Odd, and then go Michael, and then I'm going to go over to Sandra.
Oh, thank you so much, Aaron. Let me tell you something. This particular, you're being shadow banned like crazy. I've been in and out of here like 3 or 4 times and had to come back in. But thank you so much. I've been following you ever since, I don't know, since the Rittenhouse thing, because they had some kind of trial going on, and I've been hooked. You've got my vote. And you've definitely, I didn't go and do the early thing because I don't believe in it. I'm gonna go stand in line for you. All right. And here, the Harris County, it's just really gone downhill like you wouldn't believe in the last, I don't know how many years. I've been here since 76, and it's not been pretty out here. I mean, it was pretty when I first got here, but it's gotten worse. And there's so much crime going on, and we just gotta get this. We need new blood. I keep saying that. We need new blood. We got to get rid of them rhinos. And God bless you, and you have my vote. And I'm out.
Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate it very much. And you're right. We do got to get rid of we got to get new blood. We got to change the way we've been doing things as the Republican Party. It's not acceptable anymore. So, but once again, thank you very much. All right, Odd, what you got?
Oh, well, hello there, Aaron. I remember last time I saw you from Julia Space. And my friend, I'm going to tell you this, and this is going to be short and sweet. I had the vibe of that you are a very, very strong candidate. And really, like, I loved every minute that I talked with you on the other space, which was really nice to know. But you have my vote, so I support you, my guy. So I wish you luck. Okay.
I appreciate that, even though you're a cat guy. But anyway, we won't hold that against you. Okay.
That's fine with me, my friend. But seriously, good luck out there, man.
Thanks, Odd. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was good talking to you the other night. Yeah, actually, you were hosting. It was Julie was co-hosting with that one. So, yeah,
Oh
but
yeah, that's right. That's right.
yeah, yeah. So, all right, Michael, what you got for me?
Aaron, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
I met you on one of the crypto spaces. I'm one of those fellow Florida swamp creatures, but I'm very glad that we have a Texas space today because I used to live in Corpus Christi not too long ago. I lived there in Nueces County for about 6 years. And you mentioned a couple of things that, as a native Floridian, I can definitely confirm, and is that property taxes in Texas are ridiculous. I mean, Nueces County is paying about 2.64% compared to Orange County right here where I'm at, paying 0.91. And it was really weird to me to see that. Just so you know, I did basic training in San Antonio. Texas turned me into the person I am today. I can tell you that. Not just because of the military, many connections made with the family, personally, professionally, but that property tax deal is something that I can relate to because I don't talk about it too much because I don't want to get doxxed, but I do work in the mortgage industry in both Texas and Florida. So comparatively speaking, is what I do on a daily basis. And even though property prices are much crazier here in Florida, you do see people in Texas get priced out of the market because of that crazy tax liability that comes about. And one of the big problems with that property tax is that the state wrote the law in a way that it gives too much discretion to the county. So when you get places like Nueces County that are corrupt as hell, they take advantage of that discretion to just keep milking their local populations. And where does it send most of the money to? It sends it to the schools that you mentioned, because you do need to change that. You need to overhaul it, delete it, whatever it is. But there's no reason for Texas, who is such a blue collar, get your hands dirty, pump oil, work out in the fields. It really is a trade society, just like you mentioned. So it's kind of a tragedy to think that money that could go into these trades that have boosted the middle class like no other industry that I've ever seen personally. It's a pity that that money isn't going to that and instead is going into the CRT, social this and that, racism, blah, 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 crap that does not make Texas competitive, does not make America competitive. So yeah, I just wanted to, say hi to you, tell you that you are on the right track on pretty much everything that you've mentioned. And I'm ready to see Texas become Texas again. I'm ready to see Texas get that Texas style angry. You're not going to tread on me. I'm not going to do what I'm told. That type of mentality, we need it because Texas has always been a fundamental pillar for all the United States when it comes to that fight for freedom. In fact, I don't know if you're using the monkeys, but don't be afraid to throw a monkey at me if I'm talking too much. Texas is the only state to join the Union via a treaty. It was not annexed. Texas was an independent republic that could stand on its own feet and told the U.S., you know what? I like what you guys were doing over there. I'm going to join you. But I do reserve the right to secede if you guys, start getting a little crazy. And I think we're getting a little crazy. And I think people like you, Aaron, people like the real Texans that need to bring it back and wrangle this. I think that we need people like yourself, and I applaud that you're running, and I hope you win tomorrow.
Appreciate it, Michael. Yeah, and that's actually, I started adding that into my speeches after I was sitting in the Canadian, when I was sitting in with crypto and they were talking about the Canadian truckers that night, and people in there were like, oh, I wish we had a Florida in Canada. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm a fifth generation Texan. Am I literally listening to people around the world looking to freedom to Florida? Like, yeah, I am that Texan. And that damn Texan needs to come back in this state because I'm sick of this. Well, we're still better than California, New York. That is not Texas, people. Wake up. There's a reason everybody around the world knows what a Texan is. And it's not because we're second to Florida. It's because we were the guys that ran around going, yeah, you ain't as free as us. Shove it. And now it's like, well, we're better than California. Well, great. No, that's not acceptable as Texans. So we've got to fix that problem. And I've been using that. Man, when I say that in the room, you should see the Texans get pissed. And I'm like, good. Now go vote, because 20 years of this current Republican leadership has got us Florida being more powerful and more free. So why don't we get rid of the guys that have left us in that position? So, yeah, full, yeah, 100% agree, Michael. So yeah, appreciate it. All right, Sandra, because I know you're going to some of us, and I want to give you a minute to introduce yourself to anybody that might be in South Texas and Laredo. Go ahead and tell them about who you are, what you're doing.
Well, hey, y'all. My name is Sandra Witten. I'm running for Congress in Congressional District 28. It's currently Henry Cuellar's seat. I did run in 2020. I ran unopposed. I got, I came the closest that anyone, Republican or Democrat, have ever come to beating him. And I did that with $26,000 and zero help from the Republican Party at all, or any of the branches, because everyone said, well, Henry's a safe Democrat and we need to keep him there. So we told him to hold our beer and watch this, and we did the unthinkable, and we scared the crap out of them, and we made them. What ended up happening for 2022 is that we had one person jump in the race back in August. The last week of filing, we had 5 other people jump in, so now we have a total of 7 people in my race. All of them have I believe there's only one that actually lives in the district and has for a while. Everybody else is a complete carpetbagger. So I've been doing everything that I can to show that I'm the only true resident of our district. I go to city halls, city council meetings. I go to county commissioner meetings in all of the districts. I don't just stick it to one. I've stood up with this is Texas Freedom Force, fighting for the Cenotaph and the Alamo. I've gone to Bexar County's meetings over those things. I've stood for our constables and our law enforcement. I'm a Border Patrol agent wife. We've got 4 kids. I even stand in the gap for the Border Patrol agents because their union doesn't do their job or their responsibilities that they're supposed to be doing for our union. So our agents reach out to me frequently from all over the state, honestly. Hey, this is what we have going on. Can you help us to shed some light on this, or can you give us direction or things along those lines? So I've already started working for the people of our district. I have for over 3 years now, and I don't plan to stop. I'm 100% in alignment with Aaron. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, I have to trust that I did what I could. And I do have peace. I'm with you, Aaron. I'm kind of 1 second I'm good, and the next minute I'm like, is it Wednesday morning yet? I just need to know what's next. I'm honored to have worked with the RPT, especially when Alan West was the chairman, and even after. I went around the state and I did the legislative priorities rallies. After the 2020 election, we did Stop the Steal rallies. I hosted an Open Texas, Open Laredo rally here in Laredo when our governor shut everything down. I've been, for a lack of better terms, an activist, but that's also incredibly limited in what we have done. We've been bringing resources and teams down to all parts of our district to help fill in gaps where they're lacking, and already put teams into place to be able to help with the water issues that we have down here along the border. Of course, we have a huge military bases there in San Antonio. We have Lackland as part of our district, and so we're constantly on the move. We're constantly fighting for Texans just in general. My district does encompass 9 counties. We have Bexar, Guadalupe, Atascosa, McMullen, Duval, Webb, Stars, Zapata, and Jim Hogg. Sorry, we picked up some new ones and we lost some old ones in redistricting. And already our numbers are coming back, just for the overall primary numbers in terms of number of Republicans, numbers that we truly didn't expect and are blown away from. Here in Webb County, from the last non-presidential primary, we've got about an 81% increase. That's ginormous. Other counties, I'm hearing a 50 or 75% increase. So, it's true that this was not just about Trump. And because that was a lot of the rhetoric that we heard after the 2020 election cycle. This is truly about people have woken up and they've seen what the Republican Party is about, and they see who's actually been down here working and not just been talking points. And so it's exciting to know that we've been part of this movement since, pretty much day one. I started running in 2019. I boldly walked into a meeting and said, hey, nobody's here to fix it. So I guess that means the rednecks got to do it. So here's to all the rednecks who are fighting for freedom around the state. And honestly, that's how I got to meet Aaron. And because I do get to travel the state, I get to talk about what's happening on our border. I get to talk about how Laredo is the #1 trade port in the United States. We beat out Los Angeles and even the Port of Houston twice in one calendar year. We do over 17,000 trucks 2 miles from my home. And, so these are things that come into the United States. Laredo itself does 40% of the trade for the state of Texas. So, we have so much to offer, but we are also so overlooked because of the corruption and things along those lines. And the harder we dig into the corruption behind things, the more startling it becomes. Some of you might have heard that Congressman Henry Cuellar has been raided by the FBI in the last month. That actually happened. If you go to my Stand for Texas Facebook page, I did a 3-hour live outside of his home while the FBI was bringing things out. So we actually, I've been exposing the corruption, and I'm making sure that people know what's going on, because for so long people have been afraid to stand up for it. And if we're not willing to stand up for things that are just affecting the lives of hundreds of thousands of Texans every single day, millions of Texans every single day, plus the national repercussions, then what are we willing to fight for? My family is precious to me, and if we don't stand up and fight, and just like your families are precious to y'all, then we've got nothing. So I was born and raised in Southeast Virginia. I've been a Texan for 13 years. And about 9 years ago, I became that Texan that Aaron was talking about just a couple of minutes ago. And I haven't stopped. And in fact, my kids tell me I've gotten more obnoxious as time goes by. So when you're 17-year-old and you're 13-year-old say you've gotten more obnoxious, you must be doing something right.
That's right. That's when you know you're texting. By the way, for anybody to know, you want to know how crazy this is? She went from being the only Republican willing to challenge a Democrat, Cuellar, to now literally one of her opponents is backed by Kevin McCarthy. One of her opponents is backed by Ted Cruz. One of her opponents has somebody that works for Trump's PAC working as his campaign manager. And then they brought in like 2 or 3 other people. Like, they have made a conscious effort to go from where no Republicans were running, where Sandra almost pulled it off last time, to now they decided to send 6 people in to basically keep her from winning. So our own party is trying to stop her from getting where she was getting to, because they knew Cuellar was in trouble. And it's sad, because she is the one putting the work in. When you listen to these guys talk, they obviously don't know what's going on down there. And I've listened to a room of all of them speak, and you're going, do you even understand what's going on in your district? It's just canned speeches, every one of them. And it's like, well, I was military and I was this. And it's like, okay, but what do you understand about Laredo? And what they're depending on is that when they redistrict, they put a lot of San Antonio. They put more of Bexar County into your thing, right? Isn't that what they did?
Yeah, they put a little bit more, but they also took away some of Bexar County. And a friend of mine up there, she said it's kind of funny because when you look at the way they even drew the lines in Bexar County, it's like they tried to cut out all of your major support areas.
Yeah.
So it was pretty hysterical to see how hard they've been fighting against us, and it's even the good guys. The good guys, to an extent. Well, let me rephrase that: the traditional good guys in our party. Ted Cruz kept promising me that we'd get some assistance last time. Of course, Kevin McCarthy did as well, just so that they could spit in our face again this time. And the thing is that voters actually do remember, especially when you're the first one to do something, and then you have all of these people who jump in and say, "Oh, no, I'm the better Republican." Well, you don't have a history of being a Republican, let alone a Republican who's been fighting for our area. And so it's been fun to, we haven't been wrong about any of this stuff. And I tell people all the time, I'm angry about that, because I wish that they were proving me wrong just once, but every single time they've proven our theories right.
Yeah. So. All right,
so if you're in Congressional District 28, I could certainly use your support. And I know my Twitter space is kind of lame, but my Facebook one that's popping.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. My Twitter's doing good and my Facebook isn't as good. So I think, it's been interesting. So
now, Aaron, I didn't get to share this with you earlier, I don't think, but I think you'll enjoy a good laugh. We've been putting out signs, and I've been putting out all of the guys that I'm supporting, as well as myself, when I put signs out. Today, I arrived at a polling location, and I wasn't even going past it because I'd already put signs at it, but I was just driving down the street, and I stopped. There's a whole hillside, and there was tons of Republicans all around. And the only sign that was left, now keep in mind, I had at least 4 of mine out. I had 2 of Alan West, 2 of Louis Gomert's, and 2 of yours. And the only one that was still standing on this huge hilltop was yours. Only one of yours. They took the rest of them all down.
All right. Well, I'm glad I got fans that don't like you too. Okay, so I'm still in good shape then. as long as they left my signs up, whatever, right?
That's right.
No,
I thought you'd
I did see.
appreciate
I
that.
saw you post about something like that, but I didn't actually get time to look at it. So, but at least mine were up, so I'm good with that one. But anyway, all right. Well, I'll let you do your thing. I figure, like I said, I want to give you some time on here because I know you've been working your butt off trying to make a difference too. So, but anyway,
Absolutely,
now
I appreciate
yeah.
it, my friend. Thank you. Good
You're
luck
welcome. You're
tomorrow.
welcome, Sam.
You know,
Yeah,
you
same
know where
same to
my
you.
vote's going.
I know. Yeah, and you know where mine would be if I was down there. So anyway, all right. Well, all right. Thanks, Sandra. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Let's see what you got. Quentin, you were up here earlier, and I didn't get to let you speak. So what you got, man?
Yeah. Who the fuck is a Republican or Democrat? Because I'm a member of the Twisted Tea Party.
Well, I'm running on the Republican Party. That's who I am. You have a question about that, or you just want to make what are we doing here?
No, I'm just saying there is no fucking parties.
Well, there is when you have to elect, and you have to pick one party. You have to run as an independent, and it's unrealistic to win as an independent still. So,
well, you sound like you should just go to George Soros then.
and we're done with Quentin. All right, good deal.
Good call. I was about to do that myself.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah. Anyway, to wait all that long to talk like that is yeah. Okay, whatever. All right. So, all right, CDO, what do you have for me? And then
Hi, Aaron. I just wanted to let you know that I cannot absolutely wait until tomorrow when I get to go and vote for you and Chad. My sister and my brother-in-law don't have time to research the candidates or even listen to anything because of their jobs. So they are going off of whoever I vote for. And so my sister has asked for a detailed list of every race. We're in 2 different counties, so she doesn't have all the exact same people on her ballot, but the main ones, the statewide ones, she is definitely voting for you. And I don't know how she's going to vote for governor, but I'm assuming that her husband will do the same because he doesn't research their candidates either. So I look so forward to having you and Chad as our next governor and lieutenant governor. Y'all bring the fire and the passion that Texas needs and we expect as real Texans. And I can't put into words how proud I am of both of y'all and how excited that I am. The words just aren't there, but God knows what's in my heart. But you and Chad are exactly what we need. I'm sorry. Y'all just make me so proud and so excited that I'm near tears. But I am praying for both of you. And I look forward to having both of y'all in office quickly. Thank you so much for everything that you have done. And just the same for Brandon. And thank you, Brandon, for all the work that you've done. And it looks like he may have left the room.
I think he got disconnected. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Okay. I don't see him now, but
Yeah.
Y'all have worked so hard and put so many miles on your trucks and put so much time. And I will say for anyone that has not met Aaron, I have, and he is the same in person as he is on here. And that's refreshing because people, come off on, one way online and then they're different. They're usually jerks in person. And Aaron is not. He is just down to earth. He's one of us. And I just love him to death. So thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Yeah, it was good meeting you when I came down to San Antonio. So yeah, I appreciate it, and hopefully we will make the change. So we'll see. We'll see in 24 hours, basically, roughly. We're talking about how far we've gone. 6 months ago, I was an unknown, and now Scott Pressler's in the room. So Scott, appreciate you joining, and man, I reached out to you when I first started running because all the work you've done for the Republican Party and the conservative movement has been phenomenal. So thank you for everything you've done since you're listening, and keep doing what you're doing, because it's people like you that have also made a huge difference in our voter turnout. Like Sandra was talking about, getting people involved and really being the boots on the ground that we need to have to get this movement going the right way. So anyway.
Yeah.
So
Amen
Let
to
us know if
that.
you want to speak. I think I sent you an invite, but just in case.
Yeah, that would be
My Twitter's
fantastic.
messed up.
He helped us defeat Hillary.
yes.
Hopefully, maybe he'll help us do it again if she runs. Hopefully not, but
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah, if she runs, that's just absolutely stupid. So anyway,
par for the
I'm not
course.
sure who brought Quentin back up, but Quentin, are you going to have a serious conversation now, or do we need to kick you back down to listener?
What? All I asked was, are you Republican, Democrat, or
Aaron.
neither?
I run it as a Republican, but I am not because I believe in the true Republican platform.
Okay, well, that's all I'm saying. I'm a member of the Twisted Tea Party, so.
Okay. And I was in the Tea Party movement, and I was in the 10th Amendment Center, and I was part of Glenn Beck's 912 project before he kind of went off the deep end with it. And I believe in constitutional liberties, but that's also what the Republican Party platform believes in.
I believe in the Constitution, and cool story, bro.
Okay, cool. All right. You can't have a serious conversation when you just don't want to actually have a serious conversation. Okay. Cool story, bro. Yeah. Seriously. Okay. This is what we deal with. All right, Lexi, what do you got?
So I think Sandra left, but just kind of an anecdotal story about Laredo. My husband just went down there a couple weeks ago for a work conference, and before he got out of the Uber, the guy was like, "The hotel area is okay. You know, like don't leave the hotel area." And then like he went into a gift shop and spent like $30, and he just talked about how like really grateful those business owners were, because they were talking about how just like the tourism in Laredo is dying because of the border problem. And you know, I'm up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so it's like I know the border's a problem, but it's just an anecdotal story of how, you know, real people who are trying, like working hard and doing good things are suffering because our border is not secure. And so I appreciate that she saw that, like she was trying to already, you know, fight that. And I'm sure that, you know, that's a huge area of your platform as well. But it just really, I mean, it just hit that like emotional bit with me where it was like, I know it's a problem, but to hear of regular working people and how they're struggling because of what's happening completely outside of their control. I just wanted to share that story for those people, I guess.
Well, I can give you even further. So I went down to Laredo, right? And I'm traveling all over the state. By the way, in 7 months, I've put 40,000 miles on my vehicle, if that tells you how much I've traveled. And when I got down, so I go to hotels all over the place, and I get some discounts through a family and friends discount with Hilton. So normally I'm spending like $60 to $80 a hotel room, right? Thank God. I get to Laredo. There's not a Hilton with a hotel room. The standard says don't stay anywhere except on the Loop, because that's the safest spot. And if you're not going to stay on the Loop, you have to go pretty much an hour north before it's a good idea to stop at a hotel. So 2 a.m, we get done, we go down to the border, we check out stuff. Like I said, she does have a Border Patrol husband. So a lot of times when people are down there, everybody wants to have her take them down. And so there were some other people that want to go. So we all went down to, you know, look at the river and everything. So I go at 2 a.m. to find a hotel room. Try $160, and I found one hotel room on the Loop at a La Quinta for $160 in Laredo, Texas. Y'all know why? Same problem in Harlingen. Why? Because the Texas taxpayers are paying out the ass to have DPS yanked away from their families every couple weeks for 9 days, and National Guard on our tax dime paying for hotel rooms at places as much as the embassy suites. And so as a regular consumer, good luck finding a hotel room in Laredo in a safe area. And even when you do, $160 for a La Quinta, literally to sleep for 5 hours. That is what we're doing right now at the border. It's absolutely embarrassing as a country and as a state that this is what we're doing. So when they say they don't have any money, but they're paying overtime and paying hotel rooms every single night for 2 years straight, don't listen to the garbage they're telling you, because it's not true. Like, we aren't doing what we're supposed to be doing down there. Those guys aren't doing anything to stop the problem. They're literally funneling them back to the Air Force Base, or they're putting them on a Greyhound bus and shipping them all over the country. We're not stopping anything. So when they show you a picture of the guy stopped, what they don't show you is the next process, which is they hand them over to Border Patrol. Border Patrol then puts them on a bus and ships them off. They're not actually stopping them and sending them back or putting them in anything. They're just handing them tax dollars. And then at the same time, we're spending overtime pay and tax dollars for expensive hotel rooms. And thankfully, at least our guys are staying in nice hotel rooms, but we shouldn't be paying for that. That shouldn't be what's going on at the border. And the other problem that people don't realize, and I didn't realize till I got down there, especially dealing with Sandra, is how much the river is so low that they're on a boil notice right now in Laredo, because they don't have clean water, because we've let the water level stay so low because the treaty between U.S. and Mexico, that Mexico is 5 years behind paying for they're supposed to fill up the river. They're 5 years behind filling up the river, because by keeping it low, it's easier to cross. But by keeping it that low, it's also creating a severe water crisis at the border. But nobody wants to talk about the real issues. They just want to talk about the fun stuff. Oh, well, Greg Abbott's doing this. And, well, Dan Patrick's on TV saying, well, I can't do anything because the federal government won't let me. Well, somebody's got to do something, because this current excuse for what's going on is unacceptable. And it's not safe. Like, when I'm down there, it's like, where do I stay? Like, I literally asked that. I'm like, where's safe? And they're like, yeah, stay in this area. Like, I am a Texas citizen. I shouldn't be afraid to go stay anywhere on the border. I should feel safe in my own state to just pick a hotel room. Now, granted, we all know you go into bad parts of town. I mean, that's just a reality, right? I know in areas of Fort Worth, not the safest spot to stay, but they're not saying it because it's not a safe place because of citizens. It's because of the danger of what's coming across, and you don't know what you're going to get into. So, it's nuts. And the more I go down there, the madder I get, because I'm seeing it all. I've seen a 1-month-old baby get pulled off of a raft, and a random lady run up and say, oh, that's my baby. Bull, that's your baby. There is no husband, there is no mom or dad that would hand a 1-month-old baby off of a raft to 3 different National Guards people and a random guy holding a camera, and then you run up randomly after you're clearly already up on land and go, oh, that's mine. No way. You would not do that as a parent. I know, I've got 3 children, and every parent I've asked was like, no way that baby would be out of my arms. But that's because it's not that woman's baby. And so,
where's the angry face emoji? You know what I mean? Like, where's that one?
I don't have it. It's you can use the peace symbol for another version. Let's just go with that. We won't get into what the peace symbol can also mean if you've been in spaces for a little while with other people. But it's not funny. It's sick. And to listen to these guys say they can't do anything is inexcusable. I don't care anymore. And that's where Mark was talking about how I handle the states' rights. I'm tired of listening to the federal government tell me what I can't do. And as far as I'm concerned, if I get there, I'm gonna fund the wall, and I'm gonna build that wall. And when the DOJ says I can't deport people, stop me. Fine, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wall your DOJ federal property that you took away from the state of Texas, and you took parks that were state property and you claimed them in federal property. And I'm going to wall your ass in, and I'm going to tell you to have fun getting back into America. And then you can tell the people of the United States that you're marching the own military on our people because we're stopping illegals. Have fun, Texas. Have fun, U.S. Like, I'm not going to take this crap if I'm there. It's not okay. Don't tell me what I can't do to protect our state and to protect the rest of the country, because these people are being funneled all over the country. They're not vaccinated, and we don't want to get in that. I don't believe in that anyway. We can get to that later. But they're not vaccinated. They're coming with diseases. They're being put into camps where they're not being treated. They're sick. They're drugged. They're all kinds of things. I've never seen so many little kids that will sit there docile and not say a single word after supposedly this horrible trek. You can't get a 6-year-old to sit quiet for 15 minutes, let alone for the hour I was out there watching a 6-year-old just sit there like a zombie. It's because they're drugged so that they don't do anything. They don't say anything. They don't become a problem. And they've got wristbands on that tell them which cartel they belong to and how much money that kid's been paid. And one of the guys down there said he's seen a kid 10 times. The kid has literally been trafficked back and forth 10 times to get these people into our country in the name of a humanitarian crisis. That's not okay, people. Yeah, yes, that they're creating. And it is a humanitarian crisis, but you know what you don't do in a humanitarian crisis? You don't keep enabling the humanitarian crisis. We have to discourage the reason that the cartels can do this, because you know what we're doing? These grown men and women are basically becoming indentured servitude in our country. They are slaves to the cartel. They have a price tag to get in here to pay, but they can't pay that. So when they get here, they're still trying to pay off the debt. Every time they buy a hamburger for them, every time they do anything for them, they add on to that debt. They're in our country and they are in debt to the cartel on the other side, and the coyotes. And so they're in our country doing whatever they're told because they have to pay off that debt. That's not okay, people. And we have to stop allowing that to happen too. So,
and
what you got, Jesse?
Outrage? It drives me crazy. The border stuff drives me crazy. Like, where is the outrage? Literally, there's no child who's coming over the border who wakes up at 5 and says, I want a better life. Like, they're being trafficked in here, and not one damn liberal is saying anything about it. It's absolutely insane. Literally the biggest humanitarian crisis, and we're creating it by letting them cross. Literally, because if we stop letting them cross, we would stop making the cartels so damn powerful.
Well, we have to deal with the cartels in other ways too.
Right.
I mean, you've got the fentanyl problem on top of it.
Yes. So people are dying. It's like the biggest. I feel like we talk about Ukraine and invasions, and what about our border? Like, let's just start talking about our border nonstop, because that's the biggest problem we have.
Yeah, I mean it's. I mean I mean, yeah, I can see. I can hear your frustration. Yeah, and the more I go down there, the madder I get, and that's what's unbelievable is the people that sit around. You know, it's kind of like the left when they sit in their cities and then they tell people that live out in the rural country about how to protect the environment. I don't know if you've probably seen that meme before, where it's like people in here tell me how to take care. You know, it's a picture of the green and the trees and everything that's in the farmland, and then it's their city. It's all smog filled, and it's like these people want to tell me how to take care of the environment, right? That's the same thing. People that aren't even down there want to tell us what it's like. Have you been there? Have you seen it? Well, yeah, but these people are just coming for a better life. You're right, they are. And I can't blame them for doing that. But you don't understand what they're selling themselves into in order to do that. So is it really a better life? Because I'm pretty sure people don't think slavery is a good thing. So what life do they have when they're literally slaves to the cartel in our own country? So, you know, I can't sit around and take this any longer. I mean, like I said, it's the government manipulates everything. And yet, and then people just turn on the TV or they look at the news and they just believe it. And it's like, and then when someone like myself or Sandra, who lives there every day and her husband's a border patrol agent, when we tell them the truth, they go, oh, it's just because you're trying to run for office. You just want to make them look bad. No, that's what's really going on. And it's like they just put these blinders in their face and they refuse to see the reality around them because it's just too much for them to understand. And that's what I said. I'm not running this, and everybody that's heard me before, obviously I have no problem speaking my mind. And I try to do it as respectful as possible, but I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't like it, I don't care. Like, you need to hear the truth. And that's the way we need to start being across the board. We need to stop being nice, because then people don't believe what's really going on when someone tells them the truth. So what you got, Julia?
Wow, how do I even follow that? Baby Yoda actually DM'd me and said, in this moment, he wants you to run for president now. After that speech, you have him fired up. But anyway, what I actually wanted to bring up was I saw a tweet where you were going back and forth with someone. Maybe, I guess you'll remember, this was just about 5 days ago. And you basically offered to call him because he had some doubts about, I guess, your campaign or what positions, you had and what you stood for. And then you actually did, call him. You offered to send him your phone number or whatever happened. I was wondering if you could speak to that, why you're willing to do that, like how the conversation went. You spent an hour on the phone with him. Like,
Yeah,
that's
so
unheard of almost.
yeah, that was yeah, he was like, I was like straight up calling him out, and he started getting, it was funny, both of us at the same time literally sent a tweet back, and I was like, look, I'll give you my phone number, and he's like, I'll give you my phone number. And so we like, it was funny how literally both at the same time of us were in the same point of like, look, you know what, we can't handle this on Twitter, let's do this. And that's the reality of what we need to do, right? Like, instead of sitting there having a pissing match, which is what normally happens, we need to actually sit down and have normal human conversations, because when you have normal human conversations, people talk different. It's real easy to be the big man on campus when you're sitting online and you can run your mouth behind that keyboard. But when you get on a phone conversation with people, attitudes change, tones change. And normally most people will calm down and actually have a civil conversation. And I mean, it didn't take but 5-10 minutes for me to just tell him what I thought. And he was like, dude. And I mean, so we sat, and I found out he's got a tank. The dude is hardcore Second Amendment, by the way. He's got a MiG, he's got a tank, and he's got a helicopter in his property in Midland County. That man believes in the Second Amendment.
As Texas as it gets, maybe.
Yeah, I was like, he's like, and he told me when I come to Midland, he'll let me jump in the tank and we'll shoot a video for a campaign. And I was like,
awesome.
hell yeah, we're doing that. I was like, my Beretta, where I said, this is what your Second Amendment, this is really what your Second Amendment looks like. But, we got done, and he's like, man, I got a whole group of people that listen to me. And he goes, I've got about a group of 5,000 people that, pretty much talk to me all the time and want to know what I'm doing politically. And he goes, so I'm going to go tell him right now. And he did. He right back out. He tweeted out about me. He tweeted about, we talked about governor candidates. He decided Prather was the one he liked best. So he tweets out about Prather right afterwards. And to give credit to Prather, I text Chad and said, hey man, this guy just said he's going to give a whole bunch of people to tell them to vote for you. I was like, you want to go give him a shout out? And sure enough, Chad goes on there and likes his tweet. Right. I mean, that's why, like when CEO's talking about the way Chad and I are, and people ask, why do I like Chad? It's I love Alan West too. I love Donna Huffines. I like them all. We've never had anybody challenge that. But what I like about that is that I reached out with a text, and within minutes, Chad was sitting right there liking that guy's post and giving him the respect back. And that's it's kind of the same thing that you're getting at. I'm willing to do it. I've even seen Chad do the same. A guy was going at Chad, and Chad goes, hey, you just said where you're at. He goes, I'm 15 minutes from you, right? He goes, I'll meet you at a coffee shop right now. And that dude did. They met at a coffee shop, but afterwards the guy was like, tweeting about Chad. Like, that's the type of representative leadership we need in this country. People that are willing to actually do that and be a part of the people.
Did Prathers or Huffines reach out to you? And also, did you experience any of the same issues or similar issues that that Chad experienced on Facebook? Like, I know Facebook, I think, didn't they shut down his page, basically censoring him right before the election?
I've had censorship, but it's been a little different. I mean, I'm very in your face and truthful. Chad is a different version. He's also got a bigger following. He's been around a while. So he's, he kind of has to maintain what he was. Mm-hmm. I mean, his show is still there. He's not going to change, like people get mad because he changes, he's like, oh, you got to be different. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Nobody tells me to stop selling window treatments because I'm running for office. Well, his job is a comedian. Like his Blaze TV show is in your face. Mm-hmm. Like, truth, right? He still has to be who he is. Just because he's running office doesn't mean his day job changes. It's people get upset by that, but it is what it is. I mean, if you don't know who Chad Prather is by now, then you haven't been paying attention to him. When it's like, oh, he's running for governor. Oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Well, have you looked him up? Like, that's normal life for him. That's what he does. So, here's how I've always looked at life, and I think this is what's wrong with corporate mentality in a lot of our world. When I find people that work for me and like my campaign manager, I look for people that I look for their strengths, and I want you to excel at your strength. I don't want you to excel at your weakness. I don't want you to, like my class corporation I work for was like, well, you need to control your weaknesses. No. No, I want to find out what you're best at. And I want to find people that complement what I'm weak at. And I want to find people that can do, like my campaign manager. I know this will shock people, but I am still technically a bit of an introvert. I know that shocked you last night, Julia, when we were talking about that.
You are not. There's no way.
I will sit in a room.
Yeah, you are not an introvert.
Well, I am. Okay. I'm used to talking, and I've been in sales my whole life. But like, if you watch me in a room, I will not go up and shake everybody's hand. I will be the guy in the back sitting there. But my campaign manager will run around and just talk to everybody. Right. And so I got a campaign manager that will do the things I don't like doing because it's just not my, well, now if you walk up to me and talk to me, or I get addressed to come talk to you, oh, all day long, it's like this. I'll just talk and talk and talk. I don't care. But we don't focus on our strengths, and I think it's the same thing with running for office. Like, we always try to break people down for their mistakes, and we don't have any respect for their weaknesses. But what makes that person good at one thing is that strength that they are, right? I would rather put people in their strengths and try to compliment and find someone to compensate for their weakness, which in office, that's easy, right? Like, it's easy to put people in a position to counter what your weaknesses are. But we don't do that in this country. We always want to try to make everybody, well, you need to soften your tone. Well, no, that's not what makes me who I am. So the way I come at things is very truthful, in your face, blunt, no sugarcoating. Chad is more of like soft-hearted comedy in your face, off off-color jokes, right? Like, that's what makes a comedian, right? He gets you uncomfortable. So Facebook can't stand that because he says things that aren't quite appropriate. I don't really say things that are inappropriate. I just say what I feel about certain topics. So I think that's why he ends up getting suspended a lot more, where I don't. But what they did to Chad was ridiculous. That is election interference at its finest, and that I'm glad right now at least he's temporarily won. We'll see what happens. I mean, the election's about to be done, but we'll see how it goes further, because Facebook is still fighting that suspension on him. So, but I think we do need to have real people that actually are willing to sit down and speak to their constituents, and that's what's wrong. We've lost that disconnect. So,
Thank you. Yeah, I agree.
you're welcome. Let's see, Lexi, I think you were next.
Yeah, so I'll just say your speech, your monologue you just did on the border, that did it for me. I'm happy to go in tomorrow and vote for you because, uh, silly thing, like, I read a book years ago, and I don't think that this book was trying to get the point that I got from it, which was exactly what you said. Like, as long as we are facilitating this stuff, like, we are responsible for these bodies found in the desert. We are responsible for this because we let this be so easy. We let this be an option. And we are contributing to this humanitarian crisis, and these babies and this trafficking, like, we cannot say that we um are standing for freedom and liberty and people when we are facilitating what is a modern day slave trade between coyotes and and people who are just, like, devastated in their lives, who are poor, who are scared, who are doing all these things. And then by letting these coyotes take advantage of them, we are complicit. And I completely agree with you. And I completely, like, that did it for me. But I do have another question for you, um, which is completely separate. So I have a son. He's 13 now. He has autism, but he's super high functioning, and we haven't had to have and we've had, like, school services and such that have absolutely made a difference in the progression to the kid he is now. Again, we contributed to that, but there were also, like, great people in his school who helped with, like, counselors and special education people. And so, just speaking for what I see from other moms who have children with special needs, they say that Texas underfunds special needs students, and their kids getting um, support in schools. And so I was just wondering if you've looked at that and what you think about that, because, like, they compare it to other states where, like, and obviously these other states are not states I would want to live in, but I can recognize that when you have a student, and again, I mentioned earlier, we're spending a lot per student on children, and I think a lot of that goes to administrative crap, and like, I'm not good with that. But, like, for these parents who have children who really need, like, more support, um what have you seen about that? What do you think about that issue?
Yes, did you give him a message?
No, let me check it.
All right, I'll answer this and then do that then. So I actually have an employee that works for me right now, and we go to church together, and I hired him after he talking about my kid. And he actually tore his Achilles. Never heard that pop before. Now I have. And so we started talking more and more about it because he was, struggling for money. And the reason is he's always done what he felt was good, which was nothing wrong with that. But the problem was he was in special needs. And as a assistant, he wasn't even getting 40 hours and they were paying him like 11, 12 bucks an hour. And the stories I heard from him on the things, look, there's a lot of people, and we do very good at my church at helping. Like, we always have buddy systems for autistic kids or any special needs kids, right? We always try to be very good. And I've learned a lot over the last 12 years because we do see a lot of, we've seen it all from high functioning to not. I mean, I've had kids that literally we have to have earphones on and I have to sit out in the hallway with him, because he can't listen to the music because he starts wanting to hit kids, right? I mean, I've been through all stages. And the stories I heard from him on how little they're funded, while we're funding all these programs for transgenders and all this other garbage that don't do anything, the amount of money, not only the lack of money being used properly for those areas, but then the attitude from the people that were in charge on how they wanted to handle those. It's disgusting. They don't give a crap about your kid. Honestly, they don't. Not the people at the top. Now, a lot of the lower level, the workers, absolutely are in that because they love taking and helping those kids. But the people at the tops, the things he said the way they were talking about and the way they were handling them, not only that, but endangering other regular kids that didn't have, aren't autistic or whatever their disability was. They were wanting to force these kids that were violent. Some of these kids were very violent, like 12 years old and you're having to change a diaper making $10 an hour. Like, that's not okay. Like, you should never put another grown adult into that position just because at 12 years old, the kid is basically mentally the age of about 3. And they were then sticking that kid in with regular students. And the kid's literally like throwing his clothes at kids and hitting kids and all this stuff. And they're like, well, we need to assimilate them into normal. No. That's not safe for either one. Like, there is, and there was like this idea that the whole concept of how we're handling that right now is not to help either side. It's literally just trying to funnel money to the administrative side of it and just paying people crap and saying, well, just go deal with it. We don't want to handle it. And I couldn't believe the stories he told me. And he's done it for years. And I was like, look, you need to start making more money. And then maybe we can set up a program where you go back and help kids in those situations where you really can do help. Because right now, no, they're not taking care of those children at all. The programs are not designed to facilitate learning and understanding for those children. It's pretty much like, let's funnel a bunch of money to administrative side, put in these stupid programs that make zero sense. And even the parents agree that they aren't making sense when the parents hear the program. And then they're like, well, we're going to pay this guy 10 to 12 bucks an hour. And he's only going to be here like 20 hours a week. And when we need him, we'll call him in. That's not how you help those children. And so, because we do a better job of my church for free than what I heard the stories from the school system. So, there definitely needs to be some major rework from that. I agree with that. And we're going to have to sit down. And I will say this, from my perspective, the way I look at everything is I don't want a bunch of politicians when I get in there telling me how to do this. I'd like to sit down with parents like you, Lexi, and other parents that go through this and workers that actually do care, not administrative level. And I want to see what they believe needs to fix that problem. I'll sit down and find the proper solutions and implement those programs as part of the overhauls. I don't want to hear any more people that have been in the system that only give a crap about the administrative side. Y'all got enough one.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's super important because, like I said, I've had great teachers and I've had bad teachers, like teachers who could not, like when my son was in elementary school, he would have these kind of outbursts, but a lot of them were because the teachers were not able to like recognize like the triggers, right? Like you're contributing to the problem. Like some teachers were great, right? Like they would develop skills with him that he would use the next year. And you know, that stuff kind of like grows on it. And he's had amazing special education people who have literally like kind of saved him from bad situations, literally. And So yeah, I mean, put that on your radar. Like, reach out to me. I've got like one guy who, I'd love, like, if this is something you're looking at, I have a guy who just has worked with my kid, who helped my kid even when it wasn't his job. But yeah, just put on your radar to make these kids a priority, I guess. Like, I think we're
I think
spending
all
too
kids need to be a
much.
priority. That's the problem right now. They're not.
Oh,
None of the kids are a priority, and that's the issue. Is yeah.
well, I agree. I agree with that absolutely. I also think that we're spending a lot of money per student that doesn't make
Mm.
any sense when you like look at, like, what are we paying for and what are we getting back? Like, I think a lot of
Agreed.
that doesn't make sense. And these kids who could really use like more support don't necessarily get it.
Yep.
And so
Well, and it's
I'm big on doing
individualized
that.
care. That it's individualized care, and I've realized that from being helping the kids at church. Like each kid that I've had that was autistic, each kid was a total different case. And if you're not willing to
Exactly.
be in that and understand what triggers, like you said, what the trigger is for that kid, and actually sit down and work with that kid, like that, I will be honest. I love helping kids. I've always, I'm still a kid at heart. I know I'm very serious here, but Jesse's seen me in some of the DM groups. I goof around a lot too. But when it's very rewarding when you figure out how to get through to an autistic child that comes in your room every day, and that kid starts responding. And when you tell the parent that kid is responding, and hey, today he did this activity and he's never done it, like the glow on that parent's face is one of the best things you'll ever see in your life. But that requires individualized care, and that requires people caring and being paid to do that job. And that even goes with our teachers. They're not being paid qualified money to do what they need to do. We don't let teachers actually care for their kids. We just have these stupid tests and this agenda that makes it where teachers don't really get to go in and figure out what's best for these kids and actually want to do what matters for these kids. Instead of it's like, well, there's a test, everybody standardized, here's what you do, go on. And that's why I hated school. And I'm 41, and it's gotten worse since I left school.
Well, and
So I
like
agree with you.
the best teachers, like I want them to get paid. I want them to get
Yeah.
promoted. I want them, and I want the teachers who don't measure up to like not, like,
Well, there needs to be accountability, just like any
yes,
business. Yes,
exactly. All
agreed.
right.
All right, well, good talking. Let me move on to a couple other people. Thanks, Lexi. And we'll talk more.
Let me just,
So,
sorry, not
yeah.
to interrupt you. Let me just do a quick housekeeping thing. If you want to speak, just raise your hand and I'll move you up as speaker. Otherwise, I'm just going to take everyone down so we don't get confused or if we need to wrap up or whatnot. So just raise your hand if you want to speak and I'll move you up. And then I'll make room for those who want to speak by moving some people down. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, don't get your
Real
feelings hurt if you
quick,
move
Aaron.
down.
Real quick, Aaron, what kind of time frame are we looking at here?
I mean, I'm whatever. As long as people want to talk, I'm in no hurry. I'm
All right, just so I know what's up.
Yeah, no, you're good, Randy. And if you need to go because of what you're doing by any means, let me know too. You can take off. So, all right, Jesse, you were next. So what's up, Jesse?
Hey, how are you doing, Aaron?
Doing good, man.
Well, I want to talk about a couple issues, and one is like border security, and the reason is I once lived down in McAllen, Texas. I believe this was around when Obama was president, and unemployment was high because even though I'm a former military veteran and have met 20 something plus years in management, I couldn't get a job where I was living at in Lubbock, Texas at the time. I think this is in 2008, 2010, I can't remember. So I had to move clear across state of Texas. I got offered a job. Long story short, I ended up being a hotel manager down there, and that's when I was faced with the first time reality with cartel members, human trafficking, sex trafficking, you name it. I seen it all, and it's very rampant. There's corrupt politicians all the way to police officers, police chiefs, sheriffs. I mean, they've all been arrested by the FBI. They're all doing time, and it's not because they do it by choice. They do it because those cartel members, what they do, they go up to them and they tell them, hey, here's a photo of your wife, here's a photo of your children. If you don't allow whatever criminal activity they're trying to get done, is either trying to bring people over or whatever, they threatened them, said, either you let us do what we're going to do or we're going to kill you. And I've seen it happen. I've had it happen to me where I was a hotel manager. The cartel member came in. He was terrified or upset. He looked at me and said, who the hell are you? I said, hey, I just started. What's wrong? And basically he told me how it went down. He said, here's what's going to happen. I'm bringing people over. There's a certain room the owner already knows about. You rent it to me. I put as many people as I can in that room. I'm going to give you extra money because I know you got to clean it up because these people come in that were filthy and that whole room was a mess. And not only that, he, as time went on, he even tried to offer me to, I guess he was trying to, what do you call it? I guess try to give me a whatever call it, like do sex trafficking or whatever. And I said no, and that's when I knew that already was crossing too many lines. This is when I was younger, and I just said no, I got to get the hell out of here. So I know it's very bad down there. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. They just trying to just act like nothing's going on, everything's fine and dandy. With the border being open the way it is, I can guarantee it's worse than probably what it was from the last time I was there. And the second topic I want to talk about is now I live in Midland. And
Hey Jesse, hold on for me real quick. Is he going robotic for just me or is it for everybody? I just want to know if it's my connection.
It's okay for me.
Okay, give me a second, Jesse. I'm gonna kill my Wi-Fi. It's gonna give nobody's gonna lose connection, but it's gonna slow me down for a second.